So this is my 100-foot 12 gauge extension cord that I use for my snowblower and other things out in the yard. I love this thing because it allows me to coil up the extension cord with it plugged in. But I also hate this thing because it's a pile of junk. It can't handle the heavy cord all the time. Everything is constantly breaking in here. I've had to repair this a couple of times. This rubber on top of here keeps moving out of the way. It's always slipping. And then it kind of gets jumbled up in here. And I've always wanted one of those reels that you could just crank but still have it connected. I've got the drop down type that has the retractable spring on it, but those only go up to about 50 feet, and I need at least 100 in here. So I'm going to attempt to take a water reel and modify it. So I picked up this water hose reel from Menards, and I think I can modify this to make this work. So the way this works right now is this has a 1/2-inch pipe thread on here attached to this T. This is a brass T that you hook your water hose up to. It's blocked on this end, but then this has a short nipple on it. So the way this works is you hook your hose up here, and then this is free spinning. So got on the old Amazon and found this slip ring that's rated for 30 amps. And I'm going to attempt to get it to sit right there where it spins. One portion spins with the reel, and the other portion will be stationary and plugged in. So I got a black iron T that I think that'll fit in there nicely, and some other various adapters. We'll see if we can get it in there. So before, this was just a threaded nipple with a clean spot right here. I got the smallest nipple I could find. Well, it's not they had a closed nipple. This is a 1-inch nipple. So what I'm hoping for, it might take some effort to get these threads buried in that deep because of the way that black iron works. It's tapered. But then ideally, that should be sitting right there. It's a high friction joint, but I think for as low speed and infrequent of use, it shouldn't be a problem. Perfect. That'll work well. So it is still writing. It's writing on the threads. But I think that's okay. I think we can work with that. And when I get these threads tightened a little bit more, maybe it'll move it over to there, but that's going to take a little bit of effort. So I did get some PVC pieces in the event I wanted to do plastic. So this is a 1-inch to 3/4 inch threaded, and then back to 1/2 inch. Because they didn't have any, I'm sorry, this is, yeah, they didn't have any 1-inch to 1/2 inch. This is just Home Depot. So I took my slip ring to Home Depot with me and started shoving it in different things to see how it looked. So this was one configuration that I came up with. The outside diameter of this is slightly larger than the inside diameter of a 1/2 inch PVC slip. So in order for me to get it to fit into this, I would need to cut some of that out. But this looks nice. I could glue this onto here and then screw this onto here. Or if I went this route, this won't fit all the way in there. and it won't fit right now. I have to basically shave out a thin layer, and even then it would only fit to about there, so it might look kind of silly exposed. So as I was walking around the plumbing aisle, I found this 1-inch coupler and then a 1-inch to 1/2-inch bushing, and I think it might be a pretty good fit. And it keeps everything kind of metal looking too. Not a necessity, but keeps it consistent. Yeah, see, that looks cool. So now I can come in here and it might be kind of a tight fit, but potentially drill and tap 3 holes, have this screwed on there permanently, semi-permanently, and then I can come back and attach it to that, and that's all the more we're hanging off there. So I can put the wires through this T, and then put a 1/2-inch or a conduit fitting on here, Romex clamp, and poke the wires out. I really don't have room to do a junction box, so I think I might at this point just put on a plug end on this and then plug the extension cord directly into it. We'll have to play that one by ear, but I think we're on a good track here. So I'm thinking I'm either going to put a handy box in here like that, so I can have a junction box. I don't know if that'd be too awkward to have it spin around like that. Or come in here with one of these and just have it dangling here. We'll play around. Nailed it. Got it in there nice and tight. Alright, we are back. So what I ended up getting was it happened to be weather resistant, tamper resistant, but what I was specifically looking for was one that was backwired. Now I'm just noticing it doesn't actually say backwired on here. I spent some time at the hardware store looking for ones that were backwired, and what that means here is that it has this piece of metal that you can insert the wire in, and then the metal is squeezed against the wire. Same thing here, so you don't have to try to wrap the stranded wire around the lug. So I kind of wanted a single outlet to put in here, but I couldn't find a single outlet handy box cover at Home Depot. They had them at Menards, but I didn't want to drive over there. In the meantime, I spray painted these so that it looks nicer, and we'll see if we can get this outlet installed. I'm going to go ahead and attach a ground to the handy box to have it bonded. I don't know what because this, I mean, this will be passing a ground over, but that'll at least have the whole, every metal piece will be bonded at that point. So one option is to cut and splice in. I also don't like that this doesn't have a jacket on it. Yeah, it just feels like I might need to get some tubing or something to put on this. So that's one option, is to cut and splice like a line cord in here and cover it up with some heat shrink, make it look nice. I don't exactly know where I'm going to mount this yet, so I don't know how close it needs to be to the outlet. But I think for right now, for just testing and proof of concept, I got one of these. Going to put this on here. It's like $6. In order to find a, this is probably like closer to $4. I think the other end was like $9. But yeah, if I can mount this close enough to an outlet where this just plugs in like that, and then that holds this still, because there's nothing really to attach to this part. So you're kind of relying on the stiffness of the wire. But we'll give it a go. See how we like it. Okay, so just skipped a couple of steps here, but I figured I'd catch you up. So instead of putting the connector on this, I decided to bring it down to a handy box. So I painted the handy box black, got some nice protective tubing here, and grounded the handy box, bonded it. So now here's our junction. Got some 12 gauge cable, put a connector on it. Normally I like to use like the industrial connectors, but I just went with this, a little bit cheaper. Put a little whip on here so now I can plug it in. This spins freely. I did load test it. I put my vacuum cleaner on here and powered it on and then spooled it up, and it worked really, really well. It does make a weird noise when you unwind it, but I think that's because it's catching on these threads and kind of moving. Not a big deal though. All in all, I've got about $60 in the spool and about $30 in all the parts. So about $90 wrapped up in this. Next is we'll get it installed and start using it. Okay, that's not totally accurate. The clock spring, not clock spring, this device by itself was $30. Then probably another $10 in conduit fittings and handy boxes. So probably closer to $100, $110.